we have to discuss weighty issues in each break, which
we're discussing esports drama.
Changed the shape of the world.
You know, lives hang in the balance on Mathsquad burning wheel breaks.
Mm-hmm. You think we're playing a game here? No. The conspiracy is real, guys.
This is a game, man.
The conspiracy is real. Don't even think about trying to figure it out. You're all going to die. All of you. I'm sorry. It's not me.
I think eventually we all need to come on stream wearing tinfoil hats. All right. So anyway, circles roll to find someone that knows elves.
Oh my gosh. All right, I have one die for this. So, how badly am I going to?
No, not necessarily.
Well, who are you trying to find?
Yeah. Define the person you're trying to find.
Yeah.
So you want someone.
Oh boy.
I would guess probably from the Mages Guild would be the best way to do it.
Right. Well, did you start with the circles of one?
Yeah.
How many tests do you need to get to 2? You've already made a circles test.
Doesn't matter if it's the right difficulty. I need a routine test. I'll never get a routine test for circles.
Hang on.
It would have to be a noble. I just want to find a noble. I don't care why. That would have to be my circles test.
Is it a stat?
It advances as a skill.
Wait.
I'm pretty sure it advances as a skill.
I gotta go here.
I have a difficult and a challenging test for circles.
You should only need one of those two. At one, I'm pretty sure.
Well, maybe I have the circles of 2 then.
Advancing. Nope, that's affiliation. Circles advance like a skill. Okay, skill. Tests required to advance skills. At 1, you get 1 and 1 or. Okay.
I need a routine. And it's never going to be important enough to roll routine circles.
What's the odd to be routine? What's your circles test?
All circles tests start as routine.
Yep.
Okay.
So it'd have to be someone in my same life path. Someone I don't care when they show up. I don't care where they are. And I don't need them for any particular reason. So why would you ever roll?
No, not that you don't need them for any particular reason. It's broad occupation or same life path, same station, rank, or social class, disposition or knowledge common to the circle, and it doesn't matter when they show up. That's all. Those are the only things you need to do to make sure that you do not have an increase in op.
I don't feel like knowledge of elves will ever be common.
Well, common to the circle, there are.
Like if you have like an
you set up before rare, that right? Mages is like maesters, so like they are the people who know the weird stuff. So
yeah, but like
saying
elves
there's one guy who specializes in elves and stuff.
I guess
we haven't talked on stream about elves and dwarves. So would someone like to tell the audience about how elves and dwarves are in our setting?
Sure. So we're saying in dwarves is like the dwarven race that has dug so far down that you could not even dig that far if you tried. Like they're in the bones of the mountains under the sea. That's how deep they are. And the sea is the elves live in the sea. They're an aquatic race of elves. And they may live in like floating communities, like in the open sea, or maybe they live on the ocean floor. We haven't discussed that really.
They're somewhere around the ocean. They might live under it. They might live in it.
My take on them was commonly that you saw them as raiders, like just on ships.
We talked about dwarven raiders. We didn't talk about elven raiders.
We talked about dwarf raiders, but didn't confirm them. I think dwarves probably are more traders than raiders. They come up with a rare ore and sell it for like lots of money in the surface occasionally.
Yeah, I thought in my mind elves were nomadic but territorial. whereas the dwarves were more rady steel stuff.
Yeah, we
So,
talked about like the
we're still not
dwarves actually came to
bad.
the surface for rare ores.
Why would they come to the surface for rare ores if they're underground? I assume
That's-
underground might have all the rare ore.
Not
That's
necessarily.
neither here nor there. We need to focus on the elves at this
Right.
point.
Yes.
Because we're not trapped.
Do we
So
want?
how long are
Dwarves we
dwarves'
can fucking
beards
deal with
again? If they're underground, how much hair do they grow?
It depends
Or how
if they have
pale
a
are
trait for it or not. Okay, let's talk about elves.
Dark vision.
So the idea of nomadic elves, does that like prevent there from being like elven cities and elven communities, or
There could be
technology?
there could be floating elven cities. There could be, they could.
Right. It could be like they just like they're nomadic, like they just follow like a whale group or something, and so like that's just why they always move. But like they still have community.
Yeah.
They're just hard to pin down unless you know how to find them.
Yeah, so they like hunt the whale herds and stuff, and they follow schools of tuna who have their migratory patterns. I can see that.
Possible.
Then they might have like some of the old nomadic civilizations still had cities, but they would be empty for most of the year. And then as
When they've
the
all
migrations came by, they would resettle the city for a time.
Well, here's an interesting
That's
thing.
cool.
Because
Or they
elves are
could
so
do-
long-lived, it might not just be 1 year, like a yearly cycle. It might be like every 100 years, the elves for 10 out of 100 years, they return to their city, or even just like 5 out of 100 years. And they,
Or they could do the flotilla thing where they just, they're in ships most of the time, and then at a certain point in a certain time, they all meet up on their ships, lash them all together, and it's a giant floating.
yeah.
Well,
And then
are we
they
imagining
decide
like
they decide when and where they'll meet up next, and then so no one who's tracking them can really tell, because no one would know.
but are we imagining like mermaids that are always swimming around in open water, or are we imagining like creatures that will return to caves and rest?
Neither.
Yeah, I was figuring.
I was thinking people on boats.
Yeah.
Basically like pirates,
Oh.
but even more extreme. Like they literally always live on the water. They're probably all good swimmers. I don't consider them. They might even have some aquatic tendencies.
Oh, I was assuming
Right.
they were completely aquatic race.
Well- Well, the thing is, if they were basically mermaids, we'd have to significantly change their stats and everything to do with that.
Not
Yeah.
really. I just say.
We'd have to give them all different traits and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
So where do they live then? Do they live in these islands?
They don't,
I
live
think
on
they're-
islands. They just live on gigantic, cruise ship-sized boats.
I'm picturing them kind of like oh god, what was the name of the race? The chick from Mass Effect that was always in the mask.
Sure.
Talia?
With the
Yeah.
fleets, with the
Sort of
Yeah,
like them. They have a fleet of ships, and every once in a while the fleet comes together to trade and do everything else. But most of the time they're all spread out all over the place.
Now,
Okay.
I don't really know my Mass Effect lore, but that's not consistent with Mass Effect lore. The fleet is always
Yeah.
together, and then
Yeah,
Talia is weird because she left the fleet.
Yeah,
Most,
but I was pointing to
but
that
I know
more
what
as
you mean. I
the
just
nomadic, we don't have a home kind of thing.
yes.
well, that makes elves a lot more common than I had imagined previously. That's fine.
I don't think they're unheard of,
And-
but
and
it's sort of like if you're an elf and you enter a human town, you're just going to get looks and stares from everyone.
I think they're not uncommon in the world at large, but in this specific area, because we don't know what's out beyond this archipelago yet. We have no idea.
Right.
So they could disperse well beyond the archipelago.
That's true.
And not
If they're-
be seen
they
for
basically
a
have no
long time.
limits. 100 years is a long time, and so you could spend 10 years sailing to your home, 80 years there, and then 10 years sailing to the next meetup location, and you're still good.
Okay, well, that seems like it's a lot more reasonable. So I guess, could I have a contact? Could I know, one of the nobles by where their fleet currently is?
You could know a noble that has trade relations with them. That wouldn't be a far-fetched idea.
Right. So I'm like imagining this city or village nearby where the elven fleet is currently.
Maybe where one of their ships are or something.
Okay, so you want like just one ship? Okay.
Well, I don't want to set any precedent for these things are together right now. That's the only reason I'm saying.
All right. So like maybe there's like this crew of elves operating out of a city right now. Like for whatever reason, elves go to an area, like hunting some kind of animal that's migrated in that area. And maybe I know the leader of the city, and I can ask him if he can come visit.
Okay. Yeah, roll it up.
Alright. So I'll spend a persona for that. I don't want to start every war in the game, guys.
You're literally the lore person. I'm the fighting person. Matram is the other fighting person.
Oh.
Hey, look at that. No, that's not me. I don't know what that fan noise is.
I don't think it's me. But...
You hear a fan noise?
Yes, it was you, Spencer.
Yep.
I don't hear a fan. I think you
Sounds
guys
like
are hearing my... I turned my mic up, and I think you guys are hearing my computer now.
Yeah, it sounds like a vacuum cleaner almost.
Yeah, it's my computer. It's a loud computer, so I'll mute myself when I'm not talking.
Mm-hmm. So hooray, my circles is now 2.
Yes. So now let me go to... I should have done during the break, but we'll just bear with me.
So, what's the name of the guy? Lord Edwin.
Well, let's see. We haven't had any Aztec civilizations. So let's say it's like this small Aztec city. We have the Aztec names. I'm not familiar with Aztec names.
I got a generator.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking.
Okay. Wow, you're a dick. I'm not going to be able to pronounce any of these names.
So in my Stars with a Number game, while you guys look, I have a planet called, I believe it's called Zulfikar Bedzadeh. Really fun to pronounce. I'm the only one of my group who can pronounce it.
How about Ixtili? Can you pronounce that?
Toss it in the chat. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce that, but sure, we'll go with Ixtli.
Okay, we want to pronounce
I'm sorry to any native Aztecs that are watching if I butcher your language. Mea culpa.
Oh, here we go. Pronunciation of Aztec names.
Most like language stuff, a lot of it has like a thing you can click and it'll just show someone saying that.
Right.
Is that true for names?
Not the set I was using.
Okay. That.
Oh, the X is an SH sound. And the T is a T sound. So.
Okay.
So it's
Ishti.
Ishtiel.
Ishtli?
Ishtiel.
Isli. according to how I say.com. Istle. ISTLE is how they're telling me.
Yeah.
By chance?
The name's meaning is face.
Yep.
Wow. Congratulations.
Right, we need to meet the face. So, Ishtili? Is that how you pronounce it?
Istle.
Istle. Alright.
Okay, so yeah, you tell people that you know this guy on a small island, who might be able to help you out, and word goes up the chain of command. You feel the boat turning, and a surprisingly short amount of time.
Well, once we're underway, can we find out like where we need to go for the other part? Can we do the maths?
Yeah, they've been doing the readings with you, like figuring out like where that thing's pulling.
All right. I thought it'd be just like, boom, we did it. Okay. We need more readings.
Well, yeah, you gotta. If you're triangulating something, you need at least 3 points.
Well, I mean, we were taking points all the way. Okay. All right. So, shall I draw this map? Shall I draw it somewhere?
What map?
Where the city is? Where we're going? Where Ishtli is?
Oh, yeah. If you wanna plunk it down.
Yeah. Do you want to like give me a general area where it might be, or can it be anywhere?
Let's say it can be pretty much anywhere.
All right.
Do what you do.
I kind of want to put it in the Blood Sea. What do you guys think?
Makes sense for the Aztec thing to be in the Blood Sea.
That'd be fine.
See. It's in here.
So is Ishti the name of the guy or the name of the city / island?
What's the name of the guy?
Okay.
Okay, so you're headed there. Rename this quick.
I'll just get my Aztec city list from Civ 2.
So yeah, you're sailing there on the good ship Deus Ex Machina. You get there quickly. Yeah, and you arrive at the island. They don't get a lot of huge boats like this, so you're greeted rather warmly. This island, they don't see a lot of trade, but they're happy when they do see it.
Sure.
A lot of the neighboring islands around here have superstitions about going into the Blood Sea. They don't look too favorably on it.
I bet. So is it literally like the waters are glowing from beneath us?
Well, as you sail into it, the waters are, from what you would. Have you ever sailed through this before? Has Edwin ever been through the Blood Sea? Or have you been with sailors that have kept a respectful distance?
Like,
there are definitely
where
superstitions about this area.
Yeah, he's definitely been here. Like he knows the noble here, so he's definitely been here.
Okay.
Maybe
so,
yeah. When he was doing his research at Feng Shing, he came out here, like, met the noble, and he's like, "I will show you the seas. Everyone's afraid of them, but we live in them. It is all okay." So Edwin went with him, and he visited for a while, and he realized that, the Blood Seas weren't going to kill him. yet today.
All right, so yeah, you as you cross into the border of the Blood Sea, yeah, you notice that it's not so much like red water as it is like luminescing water. It's certainly red and it's certainly eerie as hell.
So is like there any explanation? Is like there glowing gems at the bottom, or what? Are there fish that bioluminesce?
The superstitions surrounding it have prevented a lot of people from looking into it.
Okay. Very interesting, but we're on a mission.
Yeah, so you get there, disembark from the ship. You meet Isley pretty quickly. It's not a... That's... God damn it. That's Capalot, whatever that name is.
I was nice to you with the NPC, but I actually took the name.
Ads Capel. Is that an L? P-O-L or P-O-T?
It's Atzcapotza Loco. Or Atzcapotza...
Atzcapotzelco.
Zelko. Atzcapzelko. Atzcapotzelko.
Again, we're sorry.
Atzcapotzelco.
We're very sorry.
It's got a similar beat to Quetzalcoatl type thing. So that whole thing is like 3 syllables.
So yeah, you get there.
Wherever there may be.
Yeah, it's not a big village. Yeah, Isley is on hand because there's a huge ship just off the island. He would be involved in things like this if he's the leader.
It's like there's a ship on the horizon. Make ready the markets.
Yeah, a lot of natives not wearing a lot of clothing, mostly like beaten leave kind of things and stuff like that.
Okay. The Edwin like introduces like anybody. I guess like he introduces like his research crew, but he doesn't. I don't know. What exactly are we told we can't talk about?
Basically, you're under not necessarily orders, but you're advised to just not divulge reasons for wanting to know these things. Like keep it as vague as you can. And there are guards with you.
Okay, so only I am coming off the boat.
Okay.
And the guards, I guess.
Yeah, 3 guards go with you. They tell you it's for your safety. These are savages, as far as they know.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess Edwin, like, he just takes it. Like, he's come to visit a friend, and like he like meets up with Itzy, and I guess we have dinner, and Edwin explains that like he heard that there were elves here, and like he would like to speak with them. He's never spoken with elves before. Very curious people.
Isley says, I'm not doing an Aztec accent.
What does it even sound like? Like,
if I was going to do it, it'd sound Mexican, and I know that's wrong, so I'm not going to. But yeah, he says that the island itself is basically like just a landmass around a volcano, and the volcano itself has been carved into like the typical like Aztec step pyramid looking thing. And he tells you that 2 of his scouts will bring you up the volcano. There is a hermit that lives up there. He will be able to tell you more.
All right. Is it human sacrifice week?
No, you just missed that. I mean, he apologizes that you missed the festivities. Yeah, there's...
Maybe next time, old friend. Maybe next time. All right, so Edwin's like polite and like he enjoys talking with people. So whatever he can talk about that isn't what he's working on. And then I guess like he'll sleep tonight and he'll go up the mountain in the morning.
Okay.
Find a strange hermit who speaks with elves.
All right, so yeah, the next day you're brought up the mountain. It's a fairly easy climb since they carved it. There's a shitload of steps, but you know. Actually, give me a. Well, I don't want to do that. That's not how you play Burning.
I have plenty of for it. Like
But yeah, I mean, if you were to fail it, there's nothing real interesting I could do other than say you're really winded. But
like maybe
eventually
Edwin
you make it up to the...
has to like make it only halfway, and then the hermit has to come visit him, and then the hermit has the upper hand in the social situation. Okay, if that's not interesting, yeah, we'll just go up to the mountain.
Yeah. So you get up to the about 3/4 of the way up. There's a small, it looks like a goat path that just leads around the side. And you come across a hut with a thatched roof. There's seems to be like a cook fire burning nearby. And a grizzled man sort of appears in the doorway as he hears you approaching. He's wearing a hooded cloak.
Okay.
And you can see his eyes watching you as you approach.
Edwin like comes up the top of the stairs, like he's not exactly exhausted, but he's been very slow. So maybe like the guy's been watching him come up the stairs for like 15 minutes. And Edwin like just he comes up to the guy and he kneels a little bit and pays his respects. Like maybe he has some kind of like whatever the currency of the land is, and like he gives it to him as like a donation, like one would give a beggar.
Okay. Probably more apt to be food than anything else.
Sure. Some delicious, spicy food. And Edwin says, I have come from a long way away. And I heard, I've heard you are the ones to speak to if I wish to meet now.
Elves. You seek the wandering tribes.
The ancient ones who sail the seas, yes.
I know of them. They are interesting people, difficult at times.
Do they come in peace?
They are people like all other people. Some do. Some are charitable, others seek violence. Tell me, why do you seek these people?
Edwin pauses and says, recently, I've been having dreams. And in the dreams, there are elves trying to tell me something, but I don't understand.
The sleeping mind knows much that we do not.
Yes.
Perhaps you should come inside.
Okay.
He like motions for you to come inside the hut, and
Yeah, Dewayne will go inside.
Yeah, he motions for you to sit next to it. It's a small hut. There's like nothing to sit on other than this like woven rug.
Okay.
And he sits down and motions for you to sit opposite from him.
Oh yeah, Edwin. He just sits down, cross-legged, waits.
Yeah, he reaches off to the side and picks up a small clay bowl and starts like mashing something into it. And he looks at you and says, "We must travel into your dream, find the things that need to be found, the messages that are being passed. I may be able to travel with you."
Edwin's like,
if I can.
I don't think that the answer is in the dreams. I think I understand. I am supposed to find the elves, and they'll tell me what to do next.
So yeah, he keeps mashing the thing up and looks at you and says, "If the elves are to help you see, then the elves must also see." And he pulls his hood back, and you can see the pointed ears on the side of his head.
Okay. I'm sorry, I did not realize. Very well.
Yeah, he just kind of brushes it off.
I will show you what I
see. And says, "I have been on this island for longer than even the tribe below. My people know many things, but sometimes you have to leave in order to learn."
That's true. And Edwin was worried for me and was like, "You will see them when you're in my dream."
Okay. Yeah, he offers you the bowl and tells you to basically like wipe up a little bit and eat some of the paste that's.
Yeah, but Edwin warns the elf what he's about to see. It could be dangerous if other people care about it. So give him a chance to explain afterwards. And then Edwin takes the bowl. And I guess he's supposed to eat it?
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, Edwin eats out of the bowl.
Alright. Enjoy your peyote trip, my friend.
Woo!
But yeah, Edwin scoops out of some of this green paste out of the bowl and starts eating it. Your eyes roll back in your head, and you go into the dream.
Yeah, your heart races, and
everything.
The world starts shifting into.
Yep. And yeah, you basically go through the same dream again. The hallway, the door.
Okay.
Everything like that. 2 days later, you wake up with a cold compress on your head, and the elf is standing over you.
Okay.
He looks down at you and says, "I have seen what you have seen. You look for something very dangerous. Something that has not been seen for a long time."
Yes. I have the rest. And it is.
He kind of quirks an eye at that.
Trying to lead me.
Yeah, he says, if I am to help you, I must first judge your character.
Edwin nods.
Tomorrow we begin the trials.
Okay.
And we'll cut to black on that.
All right.
Do some end of session stuff.
Awesome.
Chill.
Things are getting to places. It would be cool.
I am in the dreamlands. If you die in the
But
dream, do you die in
when we
reality?
see Edwin again, he's going to be like the chosen one.
No.
Either that, or he's gonna just be covered in mud and shit with like leaves in his hair, and just like.
We cut ahead a week, and Edwin is tied up at the foot of the volcano, inside the caldera.
Yeah.
There's two
Sure,
like,
this is a good
native
idea.
guys like holding
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I guess I failed the test, guys. I was the chosen one, but wasn't what we expected.
Chosen sacrifice. The chosen human sacrifice.
All right. It's exciting.
And where he picks up a trait addicted to peyote.
Yep.
Is that what the fort roll is about? Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be the end of the session for this week, and next week we'll pick
Sweet.
it up
All
with
right.
some Path Askew nonsense and some old weird elf nonsense.
Yeah. Elf shaman nonsense.
Yeah,
Or
we
doctor.
didn't get to see Ernest's speech. That'll be
No.
interesting,
That will be very interesting.
especially because you're tired.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a +1 off.
Got it. Yeah, you got to remember that.
Well, that's why I had him write it down as a superficial one,
That's
so it's
yeah. So we
stays there.
remember.
I guess I missed that.
That'll
You
help.
got a superficial one, Ernest?
I didn't get a superficial wound, but I'm tired. That gives me a +1 ob, which is the same thing as a superficial
Oh, okay.
wound.
Yeah.
So it's I put that I had a superficial wound on the character sheet so that we don't forget between sessions.
And when you roll next time and you're like, why do I have a +1 ob? We'll all remember.
Hopefully. We'll be like, I don't know, that's weird. Let's just take that away. Oh look, we succeeded because of that.
So I guess I'll go over my beliefs. The only one that I pursued was trying to identify leaders of the organization. And I feel like his being impetuous and not stopping his research will get him into trouble later. But not yet.
Well, you sort of did have no hesitation whatsoever taking this weird substance that a stranger gave you.
Right.
But you might not necessarily be in trouble.
I mean, with the organization.
Oh, with the organization.
They may not like it that I'm trying to figure out their history and who they are.
This is true. It did get you in trouble with that guy who caught you.
Yeah, that wasn't really trouble.
It was
And
very.
it wasn't-
was like a school teacher, chastising a kid trouble.
It wasn't the persistence that got him in trouble. It was just the act. So the persistence of continuing to investigate will get him in trouble later. But that's not right time yet. So I just got 1 fate point this session.
Maybe 2. If you, the third one there, about gathering allies.
Yeah.
You did do a positive circle roll and you found a friend.
Yeah, I would like to do that. I feel like that's only fate, though.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have,
definitely.
I have
It's
many
only-
more
it's-
allies
it's
to
only-
get together.
It's only tagging it, but I mean, you in the place you're at right now, you have an ally. You have
This is true.
gathered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see more of Edwin's allies on screen. That's why I took that belief. So, okay. I can see that.
Sweet.
And make sure you wrote Isley in your circles,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
because you have a +1 to call on him again should the need arise.
Nice. Is he like the governor or like the mayor?
Just say leader for now. I mean, what if we have to flesh out how their society works? We'll.
All right.
We'll
Yeah. Cool.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. So who would, I guess, I can go next when we got my character sheet.
Well, I got mine up.
Okay.
I guess.
You can go.
I got Fate for at least one of my beliefs. Mathsquad could have helped us take back the city, but they didn't. Spoils of war are now due to me and mine, and we will take it. I'm not sure if that's Fate or Persona, because Ernest tried to undo it.
I feel that
you took it and then it was taken away.
Yeah, I feel that's still a belief that has to be concluded. It hasn't been resolved.
Yeah. Same. So I was thinking Fate for that.
Definitely Fate.
Okay.
I think if you had 5 more minutes, you could have got Persona out of that, though.
Right.
We might get it, early next session. It'll be depending on what happens next time.
And I'm not sure about my belief with Ernest. I'm thinking no, but
what was your belief?
I will see if he's worthwhile at anything else.
Except fighting?
Right.
That's up to you. I don't think we really explored that.
I think that depends on Matram's definition of worthwhile at this point, because you've seen that he's able to command his men to not do stuff that he wants to do.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I didn't overturn your command, basically.
But, I mean, does Matram consider that a worthwhile thing to just be a prick?
I think they're very tied together because his previous belief conflicts with my other one. So I think that if we'll see what happens next session again. I think it's fateable, for sure, because you have been sort of like testing me still, even during our conversation. You were just
Well, I guess we were testing each other, and I was like, I know the con you're trying to pull right now, and you're like, no, it's not a con. And I'm like, sure, it's not a con, but it's a con, right?
Around these people, it's not a con. It's not a con. I get you. That's the ticket,
Yeah. Okay.
Like, no, it's just sort of a compromise, but it's not a con. It's sort of it's a tie.
Yeah. I don't think my instincts got me into trouble unless the fleeing Ernest is going to have an effect with the soldiers.
I don't think none of us rolled badly on that, so I don't
make
think
a note on that one because it might end up
later.
You running,
Okay.
Maybe. And I'm not sure if so I was playing up the problem with authority character trait with Ernest being authority, but I don't know if how much
You're in trouble with me, that's for sure.
Well, the trait is move the game into an interesting direction.
Yeah, in a different direction. I think you did because we focused a lot on the interaction between you two rather than the interaction of you guys in the town.
Yeah.
So I'll say that's fateable for trait.
The only question is Ernest actually the authority?
He considers himself the authority, yes.
But is he? That's my only question.
We don't know yet if the other townsfolk
do. I think for this stuff like this, it matters a lot the perspective of the character.
Okay.
So, the fact that Matram sees him as an authority figure.
Does he?
Well, and it's also one of those things, right, where, like all the way at that first scene where, Matram was walking off and
Ernest was having meetings with the...
using the words order, we need order and all this stuff, and so I was clicks in that,
whatever
Ernest is trying to...
I don't need you.
So Matram recognizes Ernest as an authority figure. That's why he's contradicting him.
Yeah.
Okay, works for me.
It's just kind of what I was...
Neo-anarchists.
Sure. I think that's...
You're not, but I'm just...
Right. I'm having great fun with this so far. I think that's it for me.
One thing I've noticed is that having this beard and mustache makes it hard to read my emotion. I think I'm having the same trouble with you. I can't tell when you're smiling or...
Oh.
Now you're smiling.
Yes.
See,
Okay, my first
Xentropy is
belief.
scared. Doesn't stop us from reading him.
After recovering from my ailment here, I consider the path leads to my new home. I will do everything I can to aid in its recovery. I think that is fate, and we will see about Persona next session. I have fully recovered from my affliction. I will prove it to myself by successfully leading these soldiers to victory against Bryansk. I think I pursued that by talking to everyone about taking the next step in the war, but I don't think it was anything beyond that.
You tagged it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Then the Duchess of Bryansk still hasn't come up yet. Okay, I meant to change that, but I have some ideas about how to pursue that earlier than I would originally. But I'll talk to you about that later, maybe, or we'll just bring it up and surprise you. My fourth belief, Lord Edwin said to keep his cousin, Valerie Dowswin.
Dowswin.
Dowswin. Okay. I don't know why the E's in there. Safe and out of trouble. And that's what I intend to do. I don't know. I don't think I pursued that. Like, I was planning to... I have some ideas how to pursue that, by which I mean pretending to be his bodyguard while simultaneously watching him. But,
I mean, you got him out of
see
jail.
that next session.
You could have just left him in there.
That's true. I did sort of leave him get him out of prison, but that was more Zen told me I got him out of prison.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even you; it was just that your soldiers found him.
Yeah.
But I'm the out of trouble thing. Let's discuss that for a second.
That is true, because now that I've discovered that he might be trouble, I'm totally planning to change my belief about him next session.
Yeah.
Yeah, insisting that he make the speech might be putting him in trouble. Depending on
actually, that's the thing. We never got to that in this. I plan to change that.
Okay.
I actually do plan to change that and not have him give the speech after that, but we never got to that. You got distracted.
Right, because there's this really interesting thing where, like, with all the looting I was trying to do, I could, like, do all that and say, like, look, he's the guy in charge of all the people who did that.
Yeah.
Doesn't that suck for you guys? Like...
I know, and I knew that, so I was like, no, that's why you don't loot. You're going to villainize me towards what I can now consider to be my own people. I'm like, no, don't do that.
It still might happen.
I'm going to do my
the
best.
The harder you fight it.
I just need to wait until those other soldiers get here. I'm going to set up, like I'm going to be with these mercs for months. Theoretically, so I will be as we march on Bryansk.
I mean, unless you piss them off, they could stop right here. You know, that's a thing that could happen.
Yeah, but they're already getting paid. This is just a bonus. You don't quit your job because you can get a bonus.
Depends on the bonus.
That's true. But considering the bonus to come of all of the other towns, which I have told them, I don't care. It's just this town that I don't want them to loot. It would be done. Especially since Bryansk just took most of the town's stuff, and so they're technically getting like a town and a half worth in the next town, assuming that that's where they store the stuff. But any mathematician or anyone worth their salt would be like, oh, well, this town was looted by Bryansk, and we're going after Bryansk, and we can loot the stuff that they took from this town. But yeah, in short, I think that, well, since we never portrayed it, I don't think I pursued the safe and out of trouble. So far, one fate. Yay. Always use violence or the threat of it to get what I want. I don't think they got me in trouble. I don't think so.
Do you have, like, a violent trait?
No, that was my instinct.
It's vindictive.
I do have vindictive, and I have been using it against you, but so far it hasn't even taken this thing in a new flavor, I think, or new story in a new way. I think it was mostly looting that did.
You might want to like play that up a little bit more, because like the thing with the soldiers that were looting, you didn't do anything to
punish them or anything.
Yeah.
You didn't even slap them on the wrist or anything.
And you're talking
I don't know. I think how I
vindictive?
see Ernest might be changing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm only now starting to really figure out Matram's headspace. So he's an interesting guy.
Yeah, Ernest is a changing person. He was vindictive. I don't know if he's as vindictive anymore.
Is that part of his rejection of the culture of the continents?
No, it wasn't a cultural trait. I think we got it during the last trait vote. I don't know if it was me or someone else that chose it. Because I was very vindictive in the last arc, where I killed the dude cold-blooded, but
yeah, it was someone's suggestion to add it.
Yeah, but when I was when Ernest is he's now in his hometown. You act very differently in your hometown than not.
That's true. That's why Edwin is acting so different on the island than he would have otherwise.
Yeah, so it's a very different Ernest you're seeing.
Yeah, but someone starts grabbing stuff in your home and tries to leave your home with your stuff, and you have a vindictive personality. Something might happen.
The thing is, not if it's your friend, then maybe something might happen. And if it's your friend that you need to back you up later with something, you might not slap them on the wrist so hard. If it's your friend if it's your friend that basically you already owe money to, you're going to be like, no, don't take my stuff. I will simply pay you back on my time. But you probably won't do anything more than that.
You'd make a horrible mother of dragons, is all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't eat those people. No, stop it. That's kind of mean. What are you doing?
That's not how people act. Oh, I'm a dragon, I'm not a person. So Ernest sees the Matram's crew as friends or something?
Is a changing person. And
does Ernest see them as his responsibility or something?
I actually didn't hear what you said, Golden.
Does Ernest see Matram's crew as his responsibility?
Yes, because they aren't Matram's crew. They're technically both of theirs. Also, Ernest is better friends with the captain than Matram. So
I've kind of been assuming the mercenary organization is crew, but I don't know if that's too loose.
That's fine.
I mean, you can. They were supplied by the organization. I think we agreed, but I mean, you can make them yours. That's a thing you can do. Sure.
I think, because Ernest is closer, at least from what we've seen, to the commander of them than Matram, he is assuming that he has greater influence over them than Matram does. He just hasn't exercising it like Matram has.
I would really like to see that next session with you two, arguing over, or not really arguing, but having some kind of conflict over who is actually in control.
Well, we could have a duel of wits
specific people
with, between each other, against each other, with the whole point being to, convince the upper echelon of the mercenaries. Just team meeting with.
But I think that's also a thing, though, right? Matram wouldn't want to control the group.
No.
He knows the mercenary group has leaders, and so.
He doesn't want to control them in the traditional method, but he's still
yeah.
So Matram doesn't really care if he has a crew?
Suggestions and stuff. Yeah.
That's his?
Just that Matram is actually very similar to them, and so they probably listen to him more than he... It's less... more of a, kinship than an actual order.
Yeah. Well, what does Matram think of the regimented hierarchy of this mercenary group? I mean, they obviously have leaders and stuff. You're kind of an anarchist.
That's true.
Are you?
They seem way more. They seem basically like a mix of Ernest and Matram, actually, in terms of how they are. Right. They're very regimented and orderly compared to Matram, but very chaotic and loot happy compared to Ernest. So.
Right. At this point, I've probably been avoiding a lot of the upper echelon of the group, and just sort of been of the
lone wolfing it
of the infantry, right? Of the footmen and stuff like that, and just sort of hanging out and seeing what they're doing.
Which is interesting because to me, this is probably the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, Ernest
Which-
is probably more the opposite of that, which is very interesting.
Right.
Yeah, that is an interesting dichotomy because, like, Matram probably has the ears of the common soldier,
Yeah,
so he could probably more easily manipulate the rank and file.
yeah, and then Ernest
Whereas,
is it's the opposite. He's with
Yeah.
the officers and the captain. Cool.
Interesting.
Well, we'll see how that plays out next session. Hopefully, if we can get a Duel of Wits in.
Yeah, I definitely want to see.
Yeah, the interesting thing though is like I'm like really doing the whole like never engage in a fair fight thing. So like
Yeah,
every time you're like, come on, come at me, bro, and I'm like, that's not how fights work, man. Like,
I'm going to be interested to see, like, when you finally snap and be like, all right, motherfucker, I'm not going to come at you. I'm not going to come at you from the front, but I'm going to push this gargoyle off the roof on your fucking head.
Right.
yeah. I want to wait and see. I'm just going to keep pushing Matram's buttons. I'm going to get like a reverse of the rolls.
Is that
Like,
one
it's
of-
going to be
Yeah.
like standing over your shoulder, constantly saying, "Hey, you shouldn't do that. Hey, you shouldn't do that. Hey, you shouldn't do that. Hey, you shouldn't do that."
right.
is
I'm
that
just
one of
kinda waiting
Matram's
for it to, like-
instincts to never engage in a
Yeah.
fair fight?
Yeah.
Did you get paid for that this session? Or
It-
whatever?
I didn't.
I don't think it got you
use
in
a
trouble. It specifically got you out of trouble.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think it got him out of trouble at all. I think that, like, because he did not fight Ernest there, it's going to come back, and it's going to keep coming back until he deals with it.
Yeah, but that's simply delaying the trouble that was already there. I don't.
Well, I
think
mean,
Yeah,
no, but Ernest
Because
harassing
Ernest
Matram is in itself trouble that we know is going to happen as a result of that.
Yeah, but Ernest didn't. If Ernest pursued him and then like beat him up or something, I don't know. I don't know if he even could. But if Ernest chased after Matram, then definitely. Ernest
Yeah,
did.
if the end of that scene wasn't Ernest looking back into the room and being like, "I won that one," if it was Ernest
being like,
picking
"Oh,
up his
hell
face and
no,"
going like,
and then
"Motherfucker!" Next
Yeah.
time I see him, he's fucking dead.
yeah, then yes. But
I feel like
I'm
next
actually not
session,
pursuing
if
this
Matram,
Yep.
if Matram were to steal something and Ernest was to take it away again, that would definitely be worth something, though. Because that would definitely be
very
consequences of not dealing with it.
Yeah, that's why I
I
said
could
like,
totally
make a
order the
note
city
on
guard
that.
to arrest you.
Do it. Give him that fate point. I mean, you're just helping him out at that point.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just helping you out, man. Here's this fake point.
Rot in the dungeon with your friggin' fate point.
I would not mind if you throw me to judging. I would take that fate point.
There's only 12 city guard left. I don't think we want to lower that number.
No, don't worry. I'm just gonna wait until the other 200 get here in a bit.
All right. I'm looking forward to this.
Probably more than 200. Because assuming that we proved ourselves, and that means he is bringing his soldiers here to help us. That is a lot more than 200 guards. That's the rest of his army that's coming on by. Even if most of them will be leaving shortly.
Well, it's not going to be the rest of the army. I mean, they have to keep a standing force because there's an active war. But there will be some. More than two. I will say more than two.
Yay! More than 2 people, or formations or platoons. You know what it is? Platoons,
They're all Squid Girls.
squads.
I've been using company. As
company. That makes sense.
Because what you have now with the mercenary thing, that's a battalion, and the individual tokens are companies.
Okay. Neat.
Well, now my instincts got me in trouble. Even the violence one, nope, I don't think it did. It was mostly Ernest bringing the trouble. I think that's it. Yeah. Actually, I'm just thinking about changing the story in like an interesting way. No, I don't think so. It was mostly Matram that started that off because it was mostly I already got fate for pursuing the belief of about the city.
Right. Well, it was also like, man, you were just like so lawful goody two shoes this episode. It was
I'm in my hometown,
Wow.
so I am
come
lawful
on.
good.
You went
lawful good when it
CG
comes
to NG or to LG pretty quick. Like,
things will change when I'm not here, and also Ernest is a changing person. He's more LG riskier than he normally is. But also he is probably becoming more... He's thinking about... He's mellowing on some stuff. Or mellowing? Not mellowing.
Right.
People change
on
when they
some
get power,
ideas.
though. That's what we're saying
Right.
here.
This is true. I have the power is true. We'll see
By
what
the
happens.
power of Halfwind.
By the power of my mace.
By the power of steel.
Yes. Exactly.
I will crush this army. Next time. On the ever-changing name
Right.
of the Burning Wheel.
What was that? That was that.
And
My webcam.
now elves are here as well. So now we got two
Elves are a
of the
thing.
other races. Yeah.
They're a lot more common than I thought we would have them, too. That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought they were like really, really rare.
I thought like nobody had ever seen an elf. I'm like, really? I have a
I
friend
think-
who knows about elves? That doesn't...
I think they're rare enough in any given place, because of their nomadic nature.
Yeah, it's like,
But
we
who
have
knows
one
actually
village
how
elf,
many there are?
one village elf,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Like, they're rare because they don't settle on land.
the if they do settle on land, they're like hermits.
Yeah.
Like,
Like outcasts,
Yeah.
like elves who are too old to build their own boat. Because any other elf worth his salt would have built his own boat and thrown himself off the island like in Castaway ages ago.
but what's interesting is that later on we can figure out why, what they do during all of their time alone. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's like a hermit, only you live for 1,000 years. How does that work? Are all elves like expert rangers, or did they have their own like hobbies that they hone and turn them into like artisans and crafts, but they just do it for its own sake rather than like selling to anyone unless they like need the food or something?
Well, there's a lot of like specific craft skills elves have in Burning Wheel that like all of them are open-ended by default.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
Basically,
And a lot of
everything
them
an elf
actually do
does is
revolve
magic.
around sailing.
Oh.
They're really good at sailing.
Especially Lord of the Rings. Like the fact that elves only sailed once, apparently they can build the best boats ever.
All right, so
Alright. So, I think that might be it. Thank you everyone for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
The Burning Wheel.
And we'll have another discussion on the Burning Wheel Reddit, sounds like. So please chime in there.
Yes.
I'm very curious. This is all about learning and understanding.
Yes.
Having fun.
Now I remember what we were going to
I hope you guys like arguing as much as I do. Alright, we'll go then. I'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
yep.